Welcome to Feed Your Soul with Serena, a space to reconnect with yourself through mindset, movement, and honest conversation. If you've been feeling disconnected from yourself lately, or you're starting a new chapter, then you're in the right place. I'm Serena, and each month we'll explore what it means to come home to yourself, one conversation at a time. Let's do this. Welcome to the Feed Your Soul podcast. Today we're talking about aging with intention. And I want to take you back to a story that really challenged my idea of what wellness should look like. And it really did shape my views into how I first got started into the fitness industry. I remember taking a class back in the late 1990s, and I just absolutely loved the way I felt right after it. I loved the instructor, I loved her music, I loved her energy, and I loved the workout that I got. And the really cool part about the story is that the instructor didn't actually fit the stereotype image of what a fitness instructor looked like. So that helped me shape my belief in that wellness comes in all shapes and sizes. And taking care of yourself and doing the right things and moving your body and trying to eat healthy. Some people try so hard, they work out every day, and sometimes their bodies just don't change. So if we can look past that and just be like, okay, don't worry about the external. Am I able to walk without huffing and puffing? Can I, lift up, a strong, heavy load? Things like that. If you can measure your wellness through that, I feel like then you are doing a great job at keeping yourself going. So try to look past the external parts, especially as we age, because now our metabolisms have slowed down. We can't eat or drink what we used to do and without seeing it on our bodies. And so you have to really shift your perspective and say, it's okay, body, like I'm going to do the best that I can for you today. And really, if you can take that into consideration every single day, I feel like we're winning. And that is what has helped me get through this midlife transition that we're going through. And coming from a fitness mentality and a go hard mentality of, push until you can't push no more, I feel like I've really shifted in the way I work out and in the way I do things. I never once thought that just doing 15 to 20 minutes of exercise would be good enough, but oh my gosh, like I live for that on a daily basis. I'm like 15 minutes, you just have to do 15 minutes. And just doing little things like that, I think is really going to help me age the way I want to age. Over the years, I've loved learning about the different stages of wellness and also the different aspects about being in the fitness industry. Because when you think fitness industry, we think lean bodies, all we see is muscle. And that actually isn't the majority of people. There are all shapes and sizes. So back in the day when you'd come to my class, I actually don't even know how I taught some of the classes that I taught, but like I would teach a body rip class, and I think it was a 20 to 30 minute class, but oh man, like we pushed so hard. And to me, when I look back, I'm like, ooh, was that really necessary? But I think it was something that I was just addicted to. I was addicted to that push and that, go hard mentality. But there was a really cool thing that happened during Soul Studio that actually made me understand a different perspective of fitness and wellness. And I love reflecting back on these moments because I feel like it's helping me understand that taking care of yourself doesn't have to be the go hard mentality. And we also have to release those expectations on ourselves. So I want to tell you about my sister. My sister is younger than me, and she definitely is not the same personality as me. Like I'm the go hard, super motivated, where she's just always been the, laid back, relaxed. And when she'd come to my fitness classes back in the day, every time I did burpees or push-ups, I'd always look up and I'd find her walking over to the water fountain to grab a sip of water. And to me, I was like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't you want to go hard and get the most out of this hour that you're here? But then I realized, like, not everybody wants to go hard and push. And actually now as I'm aging, it has helped me realize that we actually don't need to go that hard. So fast forward a few years and into Soul Studio, I open up a spin studio and I have these ride classes that are like, yes, let's go, push hard, let's train, let's, do hard hills. And then all of a sudden I started seeing like, oh, maybe some people don't like to go hard, but maybe they just want to ride the bike. So I thought, okay, let's introduce a class called Slow Ride. So I had the perfect teacher to teach slow ride class, and that was my sister. So she was trained in ride, but her class was literally called Slow Ride and was the fullest class that you'd see on the schedule. And to me, I was like, how is this class so full? I'm like, don't people want to come to a fitness class and actually push and go hard? But something just made me realize, I'm like, oh my gosh, all of those people don't enjoy to get pushed. So rather than not coming and sitting on the bike, they're coming, getting their heart pumping and blood flowing and feeling really good and feeling those endorphins, but they don't have to be pushed at a hard class. Wow, what an eye opener. I think learning from that back then has helped me to where I'm at right now in my midlife and in the way I view fitness and wellness. I've always believed that taking care of yourself should be a priority, and maybe not to get obsessed over it, but really, what is the intention behind taking care of yourself? And for me, it's just always been the longevity of life. I want to be able to live and do the things that I want to do when I'm older, like 20 to 30 to 40 years. So how can we maintain wellness as we age? And yes, it has to shift because our bodies shift. We lose energy, our joints start to hurt. And what I could do in the past, I actually don't think I could do anymore. So, how do we shift and say this is good enough? Like, how do we actually age with intention? I'm sure there are many of you listening to this conversation and saying, oh, like I just don't have the energy, and you're just stuck in this rut. Well, I've been there, and I know what that feels like. And especially coming from the fitness industry, I was particularly hard on myself because I was trying to really force myself to push and to go. But actually, I was able to take a step back and be like, wow, Serena, your body cannot do this right now. So I had to come up with ways on how I could just continue moving my body to keep myself fit. So I think what really helped me was waking up and telling myself, okay, today I'm going to do something intentional with my body that makes me move my body. I did mention this on my last episode, but walking was something that really, really helped me. The other thing I really love doing is I found these awesome workouts online, on Netflix actually. It was the Nike workouts, and I would flip online. I'd be like, the first thing I do is look at the time. I'm like, how long is this workout? It's just really bizarre how the timing really does mean something to myself. Like, I didn't actually want to move my body for 35 to 40 minutes. I was like, what can I do that's quick, that's going to get my body moving? So I found these 15 to 20-minute workouts, and I really love them. So I would do them sporadically. I would say, okay, I want to do at least 3 of these workouts 3 times a week. And looking back, that is actually what has helped me start with the Soul subscription, which is my online workouts. And I created this Soul subscription because I know what it feels like to be stuck. And I thought, okay, why not create fun workouts for 15 to 20 minutes? And sometimes you'll find workouts that are 10 minutes, but at least I move my body for 10 minutes. And for me, that's winning. For me, I'm feeling stronger. So I'll tell you a little story about back in January when I had come up with this idea of the Soul subscription. Well, I hadn't been on my spin bike for probably, I don't know, 2 years. And, I hadn't taught. So, I just I guess I forgot what it was like to be back on a bike with a mic. So I decided, okay, I'm going to film my first ride class. So I set my camera up, I set my bike up, I picked out all my music. I'm like, okay, I can do this and this and this. I'll do a hill here, I'll do some attacks here. And I press play and I film the workout. As I'm going through the workout, I swear, like on my second or third song, I was literally like, like huffing and puffing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally had to like pull the mic from my mouth and be like, oh my God, like I'm dying here. So anyways, I decided to carry on with the workout, and I finished the workout and was like, wow, like Serena, how could you expect yourself to go from what you were like 2 years ago to back on the bike by not even training? But you know what? I uploaded that video because I'm starting from a starting point that other people are going to be starting from. We're not always going to be in the state where we can like go hard and feel like, oh my God, like I can't even accomplish that. Like I'm too tired. So I love that my classes since January have evolved with myself personally. I wasn't what I was like back then. And actually, I'm okay with that. So fast forward, 6 or 7 months later, I notice a difference of myself being on the bike. And I actually just filmed a ride class that's literally like 15 minutes of easy ride. So I'm really proud of myself for, understanding and actually surrendering to where my body is to try and help myself understand what does fitness look like in our midlife. So there are many times also where I've done some workouts and wow, my body is sore. I'm like, I cannot believe how sore my body is. So I alter the workouts to make sure that, we take our rest, we don't have to go hard. But I'm telling you, like after that 15 minutes of movement, I feel like $1,000,000. I feel amazing. And really that is the intention of going into this life as we age, is how can we just feel better and have more energy and just feel stronger as we age. We have to continue moving to keep up with what's happening with our body. But shift your perspective a little bit and don't put those expectations on yourself where you have to go hard, because you don't have to. Like, I'm here to tell you that it's okay to do a 10-minute walk, but just do movement with intention. So set aside that time of day or set aside 15 minutes 3 times a week and be like, I am doing nothing in these 15 minutes but focusing in on myself. And that is how I actually structured my workout videos. And I hope that it can help more people move and say like, oh my God, like I am worth it. I am worthy of it. And when you are looking at yourself, when you don't see changes in your physical appearance, I know that is the hardest thing ever. And I've just started to say, okay, Serena, but you're moving, you're doing okay. Like you're never gonna look like you were in the past. So I think just closing that chapter of how we think we should look like helps us carry on. As you start to get more movement in your life, you're gonna start to notice your eating is gonna change. It's kind of like a domino effect, right? So don't try and change everything at one time. Like let the process happen naturally, but you have to make that time for yourself. And I think that is something that I've always preached since day one. And that is why I opened up Soul Studio. I wanted people to have that time out of their day for themselves. And it's not being selfish. It's really, if you don't look after yourself, how can you look after other people in your life? I think for me, being in the fitness industry for all of these years, I've really appreciated the fact that I've got to learn from so many different types of people and really understand their perspectives, because sometimes the fitness industry is so tunnel visioned on your appearance, and you shouldn't be eating this and you shouldn't be eating that and you shouldn't be drinking that. Whereas I feel if we can walk away from that mentality and shift our perspective and think more wellness, I feel like that could help you in the right direction rather than getting overwhelmed with how you think you should look like and what you think you should be doing. And everybody's body is different. So when they would say like, don't eat carbs, I would be listening to all these things. So I would like limit my carbs. I'm like, oh, but I need some carbs because I need some energy. So shift your perspective on what those things actually do to your body. And let's face it, as we age, we're never going to be that 20-year-old, we're never going to be like her again or him again. So appreciate what we have. And every day I'm like, thank you, body, for getting me through today. I believe that taking care of yourself, less stress, moving your body can be preventative in some cases in terms of stress related diseases. So, maybe you suffered from shingles, and what shingles is it's stress related. So if you had chicken pox, and it's dormant in your body, if you start to feel that stress in your body, shingles will come out. I feel like maintaining our stress levels through wellness and what we're feeding ourselves with in terms of what we're surrounding ourselves with. What is that stress level in your life? That's something else that I feel like aging with intention is also very important, of just being aware of what is it that is causing you stress. And sure, there are some things in our life that are going to bring us stress. There's no doubt about it. But do you need to carry that stress with you? Wellness and fitness is also so important for your mental well-being. And mental health is such a big thing these days. I do remember back in my studio days, and I had this lady come up to me one day and she said, Serena, I just have to tell you, I have stopped taking Ativan since I've started coming to your studio. I was like, really? I was like, that was something that really, really touched me, because that's something that I've always believed in, that fitness does have some correlation to mental well-being. So if anything at all, mental well-being is such an important factor into why we should keep up with our health and our fitness. My belief in wellness is much more than the external views of your body. My idea of wellness, I think, has always stemmed from how are you staying fit in this life? And I'm going to go back to we have one life here that we've been blessed to live in this human experience. So what is it that we can do to just look after our body so that we continue to live a long and healthy lifestyle? Because midlife is just a point in our life. So we need to push through midlife and get to a point where we can actually enjoy life. And then I've seen so many people get to that point in their life, and it's like, their body is unable to move. So I hope this conversation can help you understand that wellness is just not about exterior. Wellness is about looking after your body, your organs, bones, and your joints. And in order to do that, you need to move. You need to be active. And I'm not saying go run a marathon. Let me ask you one question. Do you have 10 minutes in your day to spare? Number 2, what have you made a priority in that 10 minutes? Sure, you can doom scroll. Sure, you can sit on the couch. But what happens if you said to yourself, I am going to take 10 minutes out of my day to do something that will be beneficial for my body? That can be meditation. That can be walking. That can be lifting weights. That can be doing 10 minutes of dance. Become intentional with your movement based on how your body is feeling that day. Those small changes are going to make such a difference, and you have to continue taking one step forward. Prioritize you. You are worth it. I am worth it. Our life is worth it. And the people that surround you, they want you to look after yourself. So take the 10 minutes, take the 15 minutes. And if you need help with that, hop onto my Soul subscription. I have intentionally made workouts based on midlife, based on how I feel, and pick a 15-minute workout in that, right? Create that time and that space for yourself. So to end this episode, I want to leave you with one question. What would change if you stopped trying to look younger and started focusing on feeling stronger, calmer, and more alive? Sit with that question and let it guide you to your next step. Thanks for spending this time with me. I hope in the end that you make yourself a priority. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, move with intention, live with purpose, and continue to feed your soul.